pro boxing fans here in Manchester with Frank Smith, the main man for Matchroom. How you doing, Frank? How's things? Obviously here for Lara Wood 2. First of all, how's life?
Good, mate. Good to be here in Manchester. It's been a long run of shows. We've got a long run of shows upcoming as well, and exciting times. Everything's going really well.
Let's talk about this fight. It's come around really quick, and I was speaking to Eddie and I said to him, listen, were you surprised as well by Leigh Wood in that meeting saying he wants to fight straight away and the turnaround that has happened? Same question to yourself. Were you surprised with Leigh's mentality?
Yeah, 100%, because not a lot of fighters would do that. You know, a lot of fighters would look at sort of an easy route back and then build back from there. But he wanted to go back in there. He wanted to take the challenge and become a two-time world champion, and respect him because, again, it was a big finish from Mauricio Lara, and I know Ben Davison threw the towel in, and that's what made the decision. But he gave him this opportunity really to come back and try and go for it again. We all know what Mauricio Lara is capable of. We all knew before that fight what he was capable of. Leigh Wood's got to be switched on for 12 rounds. He believes he can do what he did. He was well ahead on the scorecards in that fight. He believes he can do that for 12 rounds, and respect him for going straight back in there.
Obviously, looking at Mauricio face to face today, you can tell that there might be like last time. A lot of people are saying, listen, he's struggling to make the weight. Leading up to fight week, I was there covering the fight. Everyone said, listen, he's going to struggle to make the weight. Same thing today, but then we saw what happened. Do you read much into this when you look at a fighter's face and you can tell that possibly might be struggling to make that weight?
Yeah, look, at the same time he's been training hard. He didn't have much time out of the gym after that last fight. It wasn't like he had a long gap where he could go and live some lavish lifestyle, eat too much food and stay out of the gym. He kept in there throughout. So I think we'll see a tear up between the two of them. And Leigh Wood shows a lot of heart. He showed it in the Michael Conlan fight. He knows what he's going up against. He's not going to be surprised by what he goes in against on Saturday night.
Obviously, when Lara beat Wood the first time around, everyone was and the sort of narrative that was being told at that time was Warrington was next in line, then we'll see maybe a Leigh Wood fight after that. Didn't work out, but Josh Warrington's come out this week and said, look, there's possibly a big fight for me now. We're having talks very early right now. Is there any names you can give to us? I know there's other champions in the division, but is there anyone specifically you can tell us? Yeah, look, we've been looking at the Ray Vargas fight as well, potentially for Josh Warrington, but I think the focus for us is that Leigh Wood Mauricio Lara fight, the winner of that, going in against Josh Warrington. I think there's a lot of spite between him and Mauricio Lara, and when it comes to him and Leigh Wood, it would be huge, all British dust up. The other exciting thing, Michael Conlan fights for a world title this weekend. I think it's good you got that round robin of 4, 5, 6 guys who can go in with each other and take real tests, and they're all big ticket sellers as well. So there's lots of big opportunity there and fights to be made for sure. I just want to move away from this card and just talk about boxing and Matchroom in general. Signing a lot of fighters in the States. I know you've been one of the main forces behind this, especially Mr. Cruz, who's I know a lot of people were after, and Matchroom got that signing. Just talk to me about how busy a period it's been and how hectic it's been trying to sign all these US fighters. Yeah,
look, it's been a busy period back-to-back with shows. We've been non-stop delivering, I think, the biggest shows and the best schedule in boxing over the last few months. With tremendous fighters as well joining the team. I mentioned earlier, Andy Cruz is a brilliant fighter. Eddie didn't quite believe we were going to sign him, but we got him over the line. When he turned up at a venue in Mexico, I was delighted it was the real Andy Cruz and not some fat bloke. It was the real one. Regis Prograis as well, a brilliant fighter. Obviously Jack Catterall, who makes his Matchroom debut this week. Sonny Edwards makes his Matchroom debut in 2 weeks' time. Regis Prograis. Some tremendous fighters, and the focus for us is to keep building the best stable in boxing on a global level, and I believe we're doing that. And at the same time, been doing a lot of travelling, speaking to a lot of new locations about bringing boxing. Malaysia's one, Abu Dhabi. Obviously, we've got continued discussions going on about our next show there. So it's exciting times for the business and everything moving in the right direction.
Just a question for yourself in regards to this year, 2023. When we look at the States and we look at the fights that get made in the States, and I'm reading, online, fans' views and stuff. People are saying, look, the US at the moment is carrying boxing. The fights that they made, Javante St. Davis versus Ryan Garcia this last weekend, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, big fighters, big fights. At the moment, possibly haven't seen that in the UK. Do you agree with that narrative?
Yeah, but look, I think you saw Taylor Cameron at the weekend was a tremendous undisputed fight. I think this weekend, obviously, the Lara Wood rematch, we did that again in February. That was a brilliant fight. I think we got some great fights to look forward to as well. So look, there has been some. It's been great that there's been massive fights delivered. Tank against Ryan Garcia, brilliant. Hopefully they're going to deliver Spence against Crawford as well, which is a tremendous fight. It's been a long time coming. Haney Lomachenko, as you say. Look, it's been a good time for the sport, and whichever promoter's delivering great fights is great for the sport of boxing. That's what we all want. We all want proper fights and proper shows, and that's good.
Are we struggling in Britain to find these pay-per-view big-name stars? Because I know Conor Benn is the one that Matchroom were pushing before the whole thing that's gone on right now, and even now you're going to push him to be probably number 1, number 2, number 3 face of Matchroom boxing. But in general, are we struggling in the UK? Because we've had good times. We had Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Tony Bellew, leading the way against Usyk, David Hay. Them days we've had them days. We've kind of come out them days, and it seems like every promoter's trying to find that fighter that they can push on and be the face.
Yeah, look, there's obviously always going to be a transition period between. We've been here before where pay-per-view fighters go and retire, and then you're looking for who's next. I think we're excited by a young crop of tremendous talent that we've signed in recent times. We've got some great fighters coming through on a global scale, and we believe a lot of them can be involved in the biggest of fights. It's not just always about an individual pay-per-view fight. AJ's still there; he's the biggest pay-per-view star in boxing. Canelo Alvarez, huge pay-per-view star. There's fights as well that can be mega fights with two people coming together. But I'm excited by the stable of fighters we've got and the future potential in a lot of the young names coming through that we've signed recently.
Obviously, your name's been mentioned online. You did an interview with Boxing King Media, and in that interview you said, look, the whole Eubank-Liam Smith fight's off. And I think a lot of people sort of reacted to that, saying you announced it. You announced the fight was off. Just give me your response in regards to that.
Look, I don't know why it took me to say something. It was all over Twitter, for days and days. There was people who posted it 4 or 5 days ago. I don't know why it took me for them to make an official announcement about it. I don't know what I've got to do with it. I just said what I'd heard from multiple different people and multiple different social media accounts. So, it's not really a surprise. But why I said it and then they decided to announce July 1st was going ahead with a different show is news to me.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the heavyweights. Obviously, you mentioned Anthony Joshua just earlier. How close are we in December to see that fight with Wilder?
Look, we've had lots of conversations with Saudi about that fight. Conversations ongoing. The Wilder fight is the fight we want for later in the year, but also focusing on the fight for the summer for him as well. He's back out in camp with Derek James, training hard. But yeah, Wilder will work as hard as possible to deliver that fight, and in the summer a massive fight as well in the UK.
Obviously, what we're hearing is it's going to be Anthony Joshua and Wilder, then Fury and Usyk. But it seems like Tyson Fury is coming out and saying, listen, that fight with Usyk is going to happen in Wembley, it's not going to happen anywhere else. Do you firstly feel like that's possibly a tactic just to get more money from the Saudis? And secondly, do you even think that the fight with Usyk will happen this year?
Do you know what? Tyson Fury does say so many different things. Every day is a different view. I don't know. We're not in the Tyson Fury business, so I can't really talk on what is real, what isn't. I think he says a lot of things for effect and for social media. The Australia thing. I don't think he has an intention of fighting in Australia. I think he's just there and thinks this will be a laugh and get everyone talking about it. And that's what he's very good at. So you have to respect him for that. That's what he's good at, is getting people talking. I think the Fury Usyk fight will happen. I think there's too much money in it for it not to happen. I don't think it happens in the UK, or I don't think it happens in the UK under the terms they're proposing, from what they're saying on social media. But look, so many of these fights get spoken about on social media. I think we've all got to focus on trying to just make the best things happen for the people we represent. Our focus is Anthony Joshua, and will continue to be Anthony Joshua, and hopefully we can deliver the Deontay Wilder fight for him.
Before I let you go, I do want your thoughts on a fight that, look, I've mentioned this fight to a lot of people last year because we thought it was close at that point. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, there's rumours now that are circulating that it's getting closer. A deal has been agreed for a date, July 29th. Now, listen, that fight might not even go ahead. I've been asking these questions before. But let's talk about that fight. If that fight was to happen July 29th, what happens in that fight?
Brilliant fight. glad if they do get it over the line, because it's great for the sport of boxing, been called for a long time. So yeah, it'll be brilliant if they can deliver that. I'm going for a Terence Crawford win.
Interesting. It seems to be a few more people leaning towards Crawford nowadays. Why is that? Is it just because he's been a bit more active, or just a more skilled fighter? What's your thought process?
I really like Terence Crawford. I think he's a very good fighter, and yeah, I just believe he gets the win. I'm not going to go into tactics because I'm not your tactics man over here. You have to find a reputable boxing coach, not a fat boxing promoter.
Frank Smith, listen, it's always a pleasure catching up with yourself. Big fight on Saturday night, and we'll catch you after the fight. Thank you very much.